I'm in the fucking rain surrounded by bugs. I just finished that intro, and I wanted to share something with you. I wanted to tell you, whoever watches this video, that you are at the controls, in the captain's chair, in the spaceship, watching this infinite universe around you. And you're choosing to turn the captain's chair around and put your fucking head in your ass. And just let whatever happens happen. There's an iceberg floating in space, full of aliens and monsters and parasites and whatever. It's right in front of your ship. You can steer yourself away, but you have to turn around and take control and move that bitch. You have to set the autopilot. Go here. And then you have to make sure it's going. When you run low on fuel, you do that. You do the repairs. You do the whole thing. Get yourself there, or else you're gonna hit this fucking iceberg. And you're going to be dead. And I, Casey Francis O'Brien, will be fucking a Dominican bitch. Thick. Screaming my name. And you'll be dead. Soulless, empty, gone. Gave your sovereignty to the Matrix, to a robot. Are you picking up what I'm putting down, bitch? It's a choice. You have a choice to make right now. Where will you be in this moment in time, in history? How are you going to live your life from this moment forward? You know what you're capable of. You know what you can do. You know what you could have done this whole time. Take action. Be afraid. It's a thrill. Like an amusement park. Like a roller coaster. Life is supposed to be terrifying. And you grow and you level up. Act now. Pussy. You stupid little bitch. Act now, just fucking do it. And do it 100% all the way through with drive and determination. Push yourself through the fucking fence. Through the fucking barbed wire till the barbed wire breaks and you just push through all the way. I carried a 100-pound backpack, duffel bag with no supports on the straps, just those, those, not the nice ones, no handles. So it was digging into my skin black and blue, and I carried that shit 100 pounds through Arizona to get to this neuroscientist to teach me how to fix my brain, because I had no other options. You heard me? I had no other options. I wasn't getting any better and I didn't know what to do, so I went across the country on a bus. And I got all the way there. No matter what. You should try it. You should try a legendary idea, bringing it to fruition no matter what. Non-stop. Unstoppable force. A freak of nature. The monster in you. Just set a goal and fucking do it. Feel that shit hit your brain, that righteousness. Feel it come down in a wave and accept it. And then fight the adversity. And then through your hard work and perseverance and finding your boundaries and your limiting beliefs, and then pushing through to find who you really are, and then challenging who you really are and challenging those boundaries and overcoming them to grow. That's what you came here for. That's the part that they don't want you to know, is that there's so much more to you. And I've just been blessed through my own, because I was doing this at 0, pushing through the umbilical cord to survive. Being a fat autistic loser and having the girls I had a crush on and felt love for spit at me when they saw me, and then show themselves off to my 6 foot tall Irish black hair blue-eyed stud Sam Kehoe. Being so angry that I'd go home from 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 8 o'clock in the morning, so 14 hours every single night, playing guitar, playing piano, singing, studying pickup artistry, studying how to talk to people, studying what every single muscle in the body does and how to grow it to the best with what I have and what options I have available. Then doing my homework, going on runs, and then just sitting in my head and memorizing this stuff and memorizing social hierarchies and social status, memorizing humor, openness, touch, communication, trauma bonding, high value concepts and high value communication skills, displays of high value, shit tests and how to overcome them, how to overcome negative male forces as you're trying to get what you want to do, how to overcome that resistance from other men, to be able to assert yourself as the leader and the king, and then going out and doing it. Doing acid on top of a mountain at the Hermitage Club, meeting Cheap Trick, going home and your father tries to kill you with a hammer and he picks you up and drags you through the house, goes to break your Xbox, which is your only form of escape to the outside world. So you pick him up and whip him over your shoulder, this 285-pound guy, and you're 13. Young, never been in a fight. One time you got hit in the head and you cried for 3 hours and thought you sprained your thing. But also, I sprained my leg once and I walked a mile to get home, so when I was 2 years before that. But I broke my father's hips and I left with no boots, pajamas. It's negative 10 degrees on top of a mountain and I'm walking through the snow with no boots on, just pajamas. And I'm going and my dad is driving by me trying to hit me with the car and just staring me down and then leaving. And I get to the next house and I knock on the door and it's somebody that has cancer. And he's old and can't speak. And my hands are purple from walking. My whole body is frozen. And I get to the top. I go in. I fix his phone. My dad comes barreling in, screaming. He's having a heart attack. I get in, and we drive us home. And then I have to call the police while he's dead and dying in front of me. And I guide them to my house. And then they show up with my mother. And they take my dad, and they bring him back to life. And they put him off. Cart him away. And the next day, I'm taken by the United States government and forced to put in group homes. For the next 2 years, I learned martial arts. I was locked in a room most of the day. I read the entire Game of Thrones series in a month. When I could, because they were hard on me. I had to completely self-isolate in my own mind and compartmentalize everything else, and then put on a show for them that they treated me like Nazis. They tortured me. I had to be this tiny little version of myself, this little character that operated in a certain way, to extremely difficult standards. Like if any little trick to their emotional thing, and bam, no junk food, no off-campus visits. I can't see my family. They took my family away. If I just laughed at the wrong thing, they'd cancel me. So I had to put on this facade for months, hiding in myself. And then I got so good at it that I would start to get in relationships with girls, and I would start touching, and we'd start kissing behind their back, so perfectly timed to when the staff would move. I would move in like water. And then they taught me martial arts. And my foster brother, Caleb Hayes, meaning descended from, what does Caleb mean? Brave. The same as Casey. Casey and Caleb. K means brave. It also means faithful. whereas Casey means vigilant. Wholehearted. And his last name means descended from the Irish god of fire, Eod, Yod, where O'Brien is descended from the legendary High King of Ireland, Brian Boru, whose parents were murdered by Vikings when they invaded Ireland, these inbred freaks. There was only 500 million people, such a small fraction compared to what's here now, and these people had so much land for themselves, and they decided, fuck it, we're going to go across the country and just rape and pillage everybody else. These disgusting goblins that grew up in caves. Their gods told them to go and rape and kill everybody else. 1,000 years before, their ancestors, Ireland's ancestors, were in native Europe. Same thing, being peaceful monks, doing their thing. Partying, having sex, doing rituals, bountiful harvest, going fishing, having a good time, no war. And then the Romans came through and started killing them off. They had to become the most badass fighters in history to drive them off. They sacked Rome just to sack Rome, and then they left Brennus. And then they left to Germany and Ireland. Then 1,000 years later, the Vikings did the same thing, and the Christians did the same thing, and every single great fighter in history that you look up to and respect tried to molest and rape Ireland, and Ireland had to become better than them to ward them off and fight them and destroy them. But nobody ever talks about that. Then 1,000 years later, right now, most of the Irish are police going out and defending. Most of the Irish here are leaders, amazing people. By generalization, just from my experience, like when I'm in those programs, and the English ones, and the African ones, and the Chinese ones are all the same kind of judgmental. So there's something off with them. They're just bots. They're like terrible. But the Irish ones are the ones that come in happy, full of love, making jokes, sneaking me snacks. When my dad showed up a month later after he tried to kill me the first time that I saw him, I couldn't stop screaming. I was just screaming. Like screaming for hours. I couldn't stop, and everybody's hugging me. Like all the Irish staff members came up and just started hugging me. And they all are O'Neills, O'Connors, Tears. The most badass and proud names of Ireland, named after the High Kings of Ireland. All the kings in their last names are holding me, the descendant of the last High King of Ireland, McNeil's. And they're all hugging me as I'm screaming because my father tried to kill me, and I can't stop. And then I played Ed Sheeran, Icy Fire on the guitar, and I sang it to everybody. Same day. Then I would take these transvestite confused women and men, and I'd have them be lookouts so I could make out with the hot girls. Then I'd work out every single day, and I read the entire Game of Thrones series in a month. Then Tim Donovan tried to fight me, and I squared up against him, and I won against him. And I got to console all the staff members, and I learned how to tell jokes, and I used my knowledge of jokes because I would practice stand-up routines to match the energy that they were giving the Keyhoes I wanted. So I wanted them to treat me with the same respect. I didn't want their energy. I wanted to build my own legacy and legendary life, legendary vibe. So I applied that. So I was making everybody laugh, and I was actually teaching people. Teaching kids. So since I was 13 years old, I've been teaching other people how to do what I do and how to do what they could do better. I make other people's lives better. And I've been doing it for 10 years now. 10 years. So here's how to change your life. The first thing you gotta do is just 10 push-ups. Breathe out when you push up. Inhale when you go down. Put your arms together. The further out like this, the more you work your shoulders. The further in, the more you work your triceps. Make sure you stretch to get the blood flowing so you don't hurt yourself. When you break a muscle fiber, if you want to gain muscle, when you work out, you're contracting and stretching the muscles, and it's breaking the fibers. You have holes in them. Protein is what repairs the holes, so it comes back bigger. You need protein. If you don't have protein, they're just going to atrophy and shrink. So you need protein. Whether you got to do food stamps, what I'm doing, I spent $30 on a month's supply of protein powder, and I'm probably going to put it in peanut butter sandwiches, because peanut butter is a really good source of protein, and it's really cheap because I'm currently homeless. So I'm going to put that in my peanut butter sandwiches so I can get the right amount of protein, because milk goes bad out here. The next thing you need to do, if it's a dollar store or if you can get prescribed, is a multivitamin and omega-3 fatty acids. Because everything, smoking, brain damage, not breathing right, soda, just inhaling the air from the Canadian fires, just inhaling a little bit of secondhand smoke, COVID, lack of use, everything is destroying and trying to deteriorate your brain and your body's natural systems of retaining information and growing and expanding. Most things out here are designed to destroy your body so that you age quicker and you feel like shit, so you perpetuate that stuck cycle, whether it's for consumerism, for ease of access, or some type of negative agenda. It does it, bro. So you gotta take omega-3s, and you gotta take multivitamins. The next thing is that the reason that your brain, when you beat somebody and you feel great, like you can take on the world, and your heart opens up again and it feels full of life, and you feel that energy, like, oh my god, I'm killing this shit, I'm the best, I want to go do this, I want to go do that, I want to go do this, I'm so motivated, I could get anything done, I could conquer the world, I could talk to that girl, I could do whatever I want. That's fucking serotonin and dopamine and norepinephrine. Those are brain chemicals that just triggered. Everything in your brain is a chemical. Everything that goes on in your brain is a chemical equation, is a chemical reaction. So you need the building blocks, and you need the foundation, and you need the factory to be able to create these things. How do you do that? Protein builds the structure to house it. Omega-3s build the brain. Multivitamins make it instead of making it stronger, it gives your body the right ingredients and the right building blocks for the nitty-gritty and all that. Then you need stimuli for the bacteria in your gut, which is being destroyed by all the foods that you're eating. Every food in the supermarket, most of the foods in the supermarket are not designed to promote a healthy body. It's designed to destroy you. Not even slowly, very quickly destroy you. Destroy your gut bacteria. So you need to be stimulating yourself. You need to be introducing your gut to different things to strengthen your antibodies. I'm not going to eat this mosquito. As your gut gets stronger because you're introducing it to more stimuli and you're healing and you're doing all this stuff, you're getting stronger and you're not taking in the bad stuff, you're replacing the bad stuff with good stuff. And you're taking the right supplements, and you're taking the omega-3s and the protein and the multivitamins and probiotics and kombucha and all this stuff. And you're fasting to be able to eat the bad stuff while you're replacing it with the good stuff. Cutting out sugar entirely, because all this disgusting disease and all this stuff that's eating you alive and making you feel like shit, COVID, all this stuff, is feeding off what you put in it. So sugar is the quickest way for it to eat that. if you take out sugar entirely for a while and learn how to feel ketosis, your body naturally goes into a state where it starts to eat itself. And when it eats itself, it knows to eat the bad stuff first, you heard? It'll start to autophagy and apoptosis. It'll start to take out the bad and then replace it with the good. So it's a practice. You're going to have to do that every day. The next thing is get as much sunlight as possible. Because sunlight is the information our body has used as an energy source since the dawn of evolution. As soon as we could get in the sunlight, we've been taking energy from the sunlight. We're designed to connect to it. You need sunlight to refresh your body's memory, restart all your processes, get that reference experience back to your old memories. Back when you naturally had all that energy in you. As you're picking up the energy and putting it in and integrating it, going within, cutting out the bad stuff and promoting the good stuff, your body will start to remember. You'll start to remember and take in the old codes, and you'll start to remember what life was like before all your habitual settling. And you'll be able to refresh your system, and you'll feel 15 to 20 years younger. You'll feel like you're 6 years old again, because when you're remembering it, you are. Do you notice how I'm looking younger as I'm talking? So that's all you have to do. Change your habits from bad to good habits to positive, healthy habits over time. Sunlight, fasting, probiotics, multivitamin, omega-3, protein. To start. Then we can do alkaline foods. Let's do alkaline foods. Look up Dr. Sebi. I'm going to post a picture of it right here. Dr. Sebi. I'm going to post him falling on his knees because he's old. Look at what he can do. Man is 70. There's rain pouring on my fucking face right now, bro. It's getting in my computer, but I want to talk to you while I'm fucking sentient, because tomorrow may never come. So, bro, write this down. Go back and get a fucking notes. Reset your modem in your body to connect to the sunlight. Upgrade your hardware. Defense against malware. Raising vibration and ascension to the anointed spot. Living in truth. Learning how to be honest all the time. The rapture. Because there's going to be a point where you're either in that space or you're not. And I'm teaching you how to get there, which is just changing your daily habits and then persevering through life's tests. Making sure you're around the right people and that you're standing up for yourself against bad people so that you don't have to live with that regret. Choosing love and making good choices literally builds the structure of the entire universe. So once you've taken that bit of isolation to really heal yourself and do all the work, because there's not much time left, man. There's not much time left. I'm barely here to begin with. Most of me is already out there. My last name means exalted. I'm supposed to be out here teaching you, creating, building with Legos with my dad in a castle at the top of a mountain, telling jokes. Gary the Legend O'Brien, that spent his entire life skiing, became one of the best ski instructors in the state of Vermont, then went was just naturally funny, naturally huge guy. Big head, his name means a mighty spear. Free man O'Brien. My name is watchful, brave. It means I work for Brian to vanquish demonic forces. The next thing is that your body's naturally designed to connect to the earth, and the earth is one giant conscious being. They're all a part of the same intelligence, just like an artificial intelligence is in every single phone. The natural intelligence that's been there is in everything, including us, and we don't even realize. But technology is trying to disintegrate that and overtake it. But Gaia is still here. I'm surrounded by birds. They surround my tent and harmonize. I live in a really public space where there's a lot of bots. There's a lot of people that haven't got to this point. So let's get into it. Is that as you're doing all this stuff, you're going to have a lot of wake-up moments where you realize systems of information you're going to be flooded with. You're going to wake up to empathy and love. You're going to realize how we're all connected and how we're really all connected. Through the Higgs boson, which is what they did at the particle accelerator with CERN, the whole thing the Flash was based on, with that particle collider that hits the things together. And the smallest things in the universe that we can get our hands on, they hit together to monitor the explosion. So what they